I want to revisit now something that we talked about last week. How something from outer space could at any moment now literally rock our world. This Sunday is Asteroid Day. Yep, that's right. Like big rocks that fly around in outer space and wiped out the dinosaurs 65 million years ago. By the way, it is an annual event held on the anniversary of the 1908 Tunguska event. Here, take a look at this. See that right there? June 30th, 1908, the most devastating meteor in recent recorded history, leveled almost 800 square miles of forest in Russia's Siberia. Good place to hit if you want to miss people, right? Here you can see an entire forest and trees that's just flattened, as you were seeing in those pictures that we found. And this is the thing: the Earth is still, and always has been, under the threat of future asteroid strikes. Just now, the Earth is passing through something that's called the Taurid meteor stream. Taurid meteor stream. For more on this, we go back to our guest now that we had on just recently, which we found somewhat fascinating. Randall Carlson is an expert on geology. He hosts a website, by the way. It's called Sacred Geometry International. Mr. Carlson, thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate your time. Now, that's interesting as we look at that picture of something that happened back in 1908, and of all places, it's like God said, make sure I'm gonna make sure it hits in Siberia where it can't do too much damage. What happens if something like this happens in not Siberia, but let's say a densely populated American city?
Well, what you have to bear in mind is that Tunguska object of 1908 was probably a piece that had spalled off of Comet Encke. It was about 150 feet in diameter, roughly. And when it came into the atmosphere, it was braked by because it's moving so fast, the atmosphere piles up in front of it. And the thing explodes, and the estimate of the energy released during that explosion is about equivalent to a 15 megaton hydrogen bomb. So wow. That's about the same size as the largest nuclear warheads in the American arsenal during the peak of the Cold War. Now, a 15 megaton hydrogen bomb essentially could take out any urban area. So if you had an event equivalent to the Tunguska event of 1908 over a densely populated area, you'd probably have millions of casualties. And like you said, Rick, there was over 800 square miles of old-growth taiga forest that was just literally flattened, just mowed over as if they were matchsticks. And that is a very powerful blast wave that would have the power to knock down buildings. About 200 square miles of that area right under the epicenter was basically incinerated to nothing.
Let me ask you the question that everybody wants to know. What are the odds? What is the possibility that we, as inhabitants of this planet, could be hit by an asteroid at any given time?
Well, the odds are higher than most people think. For anybody who's paying attention to this sort of thing, there is regularly near misses. Last month there was one. Pretty much on a monthly basis, there will be some of this cosmic debris that is flying by in the nearby cosmic neighborhood. You may remember Chelyabinsk in February of 2014. This was a relatively small object, about 50 feet in diameter. And the interesting thing about that is it came in at a fairly steep angle to the perpendicular. If it had been a little bit bigger, coming in at a little bit steeper angle, perhaps a little bit faster, there may have been 1,500 or 2,000 casualties. And as it was, we got by lucky because, to my knowledge, nobody died during that. But there was a tremendous amount of damage caused to buildings by that very small object that came in.
Let me ask the next question that I hear people in our audience asking in their living room, so let me ask it for them. What are we doing about this? What can we do about this?
Well, there's a number of asteroid deflection schemes that are in the works. The key here is lead time. If you can find an object, because anything that has the potential to impact the Earth in the near future is already circulating out there in orbit in the solar system. If we can find those orbits, track those orbits, we can then predict when a potential encounter might occur. You may remember in 2004, Shoemaker Levy 9 was discovered passing very close to Jupiter. Jupiter's powerful gravity effects ripped it apart, and what one comet nucleus became 21 separate nuclei, which after 3 months of observation, astronomers were then able to make predictions as to where it was going to be and when, and they then realized it was going to impact Jupiter the following year. So the key is how much lead time do we have? So, but to get that lead time, we need observations, lots of them.
I find you absolutely fascinating. I mean, you look like Grizzly Adams, but you sound like one of the best scientists we have in this country, and we'll keep having you on to have these discussions. Thank you, Mr. Carlson, for taking time to join us here.
Oh, my pleasure, and there's a lot more we could say about this.
That's great. So you haven't heard that we're the ones covering the stories that you won't see covered anywhere else? In Venezuela, Kazakhstan. Let's go to Hong Kong. And the media reaction to that has been crickets. How about the way we cover those stories? What the hell does that mean? Wowee, wowee, wowee. That's the key word in this case, uprising. Keep? Can you believe that? Watching. This is the right thing for members of the media to do, to actually pick sides. Look, if you like what you see, subscribe.